Okay, I see you. You've been hustling, doing all these things, trying to juggle your life and everything in between. But deep down, you're feeling drained, overwhelmed, and maybe even stuck. Get it. Trust me, I have been there. But it is 100%, 1,000% in your hands to go from stressed and stuck to absolutely owning your life. What if I told you that your highest, most successful self is waiting for you on the other side of some powerful shifts? Today's video is all about stepping into your highest potential and going from the feeling like you're drowning in stress to feeling on top of your game, living a life aligned with your wildest dreams. And this is your guide to claiming your dream self, setting boundaries, embracing your personal power, and taking the bold actions you need to make your dream life a reality. It's time to glow up, based on whatever that means to you, level up, and rule your life. So if you're ready to step into your power, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get started. Before we start off, just to let you know, I have my very own self-development podcast on Spotify. It's called Build a Boss. New episodes launch every Monday. Make sure to check it out. First things first, let's talk about one of the most important things that might be holding you back during this stuck situation, and that is your self-worth. And I know it can be easy to doubt yourself or talk shit about yourself to yourself and believe that you're not good enough. It really ties down to your childhood as well, based on what you heard about yourself growing up. But you look around at everyone else and it feels like all have it together, right? But I'm here to tell you that you are worthy of every single thing you desire, okay? You are enough as you are. And the truth is, when you don't recognize your worth, you end up accepting less than you deserve. Let people treat you poorly. You let negative thoughts control you. End up in cycles that keep you feeling overwhelmed and stuck. It doesn't have to be that way. Let me ask you, okay? What would it look like for you to fully recognize your worth and embrace it with confidence? What if you woke up every single day knowing that you are worthy of your dreams and your success and your happiness? When you begin to see your value, you stop settling for toxic situations and you stop allowing self-doubt to dictate your choices. You get bold, you get fearless, and you start setting goals that are aligned with your incredible power within. Okay? So right now, I want you to think about this. What is one thing you can do today that demonstrates that you recognize your own worth? Maybe it's speaking up for yourself or cutting out negativity, whether that's through relationships or social media even. Setting a boundary you've been avoiding with certain people in your life. Parents, siblings. I mean, I don't have siblings, so I don't know what that's like, but parents, siblings, friends, significant other. There you go. Start small, but start today. Alrighty, so now let's talk about boundaries. Because if you are feeling overwhelmed, this is probably the missing link. You might feel like you're constantly giving, but you're not getting anything in return. And if you want to step into your highest self, you have to get serious about boundaries. Because if you're not setting boundaries that protect your energy, your time, or your mental peace, you will be stuck. That is just a fact, okay? And I didn't know this for so long, and I was settling for situations that I knew wasn't serving me, and I was pouring my everything into certain relationships, but it was draining and it was toxic. I decided that enough was enough, and I had given enough, and I did not want to settle for something that I deserve so much more of. Boundaries are about saying no to things that drain you and start saying yes to what lifts you up. And this can be really hard when you have settled for a toxic situation for so long, because you start to forget about your morals, your beliefs, your values, and you start settling for other people's. And when you are thinking about you desire, there's simply nothing to think of. Your brain has been manipulated in a way where you are believing, and your morals and everything have turns into other people. So when you want to change the narrative, right? And you want to get out of this place of being stuck, doing something that is against the grain feels wrong. Let's kind of break this down. The first, like I said, it starts with people. There are relationships in your life that are draining you, or maybe it's friends who gossip too much and family members who don't respect your space. You need to learn how to say no without feeling guilty. And boundaries didn't make you a bad person, they made you a strong person, and you need to recognize that. Boundaries make you someone who values yourself enough to protect your own energy. And once people see that, the right people will be attracted to you because you are no longer settling for the bare minimum. And there are so many people out there who are stuck in relationships and friendships that are even worse than the bare minimum. And once you begin to realize your worth and how precious of a person you are, those type of relationships and friendships are going to give you the ick. Let's talk about time. Are you constantly giving away your time to things that do not align with your goals? Are you spending hours scrolling on social media or attending events that don't serve your vision? It's time to get really intentional with how you spend your time. When I first started learning about boundaries, I was like, oh, it just has to do with people and space and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, blah. But boundaries are about so many other things. Like, everything in your life can have a boundary, and one of those big things is time. You're not just a busy bee, you're a star. And your time is your most valuable source. So I challenge you to do this, okay? Identify one thing or person in your life that's draining your energy and create a clear boundary today. It could be as simple as setting aside time for yourself or telling someone you need a break from certain conversations. So now that we've set those boundaries, let's talk about your power. And I know you've probably heard people say things like, own your power, but what does that actually mean? Because it's not just a cute phrase. Owning your power means stepping into your true potential and realizing that you have everything you need inside of you to create the life you desire. When you embrace your power, you stop waiting for external validation from people, from opportunities, from none of that. You stop second guessing your decisions, essentially. You trust yourself, and this is where self-respect also comes into play. You respect yourself enough to make decisions that align with your highest good. Even if it means stepping out of your comfort zone, because we know here that stepping out of your comfort zone is one of the key steps to becoming a better version of yourself. One thing you need to realize, my friend, is that you've got this fire inside of you, and you might have not discovered it yet, but it is living within you. And it's time to stop playing. Start making the moves you need in order to become the better version of yourself. And it's time to take bold action. So, what is one bold action you can take today that will take you closer to your highest self? Maybe it's applying for that dream job, starting that passion project or business, or simply speaking up in a situation where you've been silent for so long. And whatever it is, step into it with that confidence, knowing that you have the power to make it happen. And one thing I recommend is, if you really struggle with not being in this shell that you've created for yourself for so long without even realizing, create yourself an alter ego. Some of the biggest people out there have created alter egos for themselves, and it has benefited them so much. I had an alter ego for a while, and it definitely helped me step out of my comfort zone for sure. But now I've been like, you know what? That alter ego is me, period. Alter egos can really help. And that brings me to the next step of creating this life for yourself where you go from stressed to successful, and that is your self-discipline. Turning your dreams into reality really comes down to your discipline. It's all about consistency, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about doing what you said you would do, even when it gets hard. And I'm not talking about like being perfect, because we all know here that being perfect is just an illusion. I'm talking about showing up for yourself every single day, even when the motivation is not there. It's about sticking to your goals, holding yourself accountable, and making the decisions that push you forward. I know it can be tough to stay disciplined, but the thing is that discipline creates freedom. And the more disciplined you stayed and more focused you stay, the more you can create the life of your dreams. Think about it, okay? You create this schedule for yourself every single week, and you designate certain time, like you create these time slots for your different tasks, right? If you stay within those tasks, and instead of going 15 minutes over your lunch break, which turns into an hour because you're scrolling on social media, what if you just stick to that plan? You'll see that by the end of the week, you have everything done on your to-do list, and you can take a whole day off. That is a perfect example of freedom. Like, ever since I started waking up religiously at 6 a.m. and sleeping every single night by 11 p.m., it has changed so much about my day. Because I wake up 6 a.m., I do a quick workout, I drink a healthy drink, and then I go to school, and I have lunch, and blah, this, blah, blah, and then I have after school, extracurriculars, right? Or I have work, I do all that, and then I come home, have dinner, and then I go to sleep. And then I do that 5 days on repeat, right? Because I am so focused and I am so determined towards my goals that by the end of the week, I don't have much to do. My content's done, everything's done, and I can take a full day to myself. The challenge is, what's one area in your life where you need more self-discipline? Maybe it's sticking to a morning routine, like I said, because I went through a huge phase. I'm going to be honest, I would pull a complete all-nighter, and I would fall asleep at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and I would wake up 4 or 5 p.m. Don't do it. No amount of caffeine or sugar or processed food was going to help me stay up. Fix your sleep, guys. That's the biggest thing I have for you guys. Fix your sleep. Being consistent is such a big factor, okay? You might need to be consistent with your workouts or complete a project that you've been putting out for so long. Whatever it is, I want you to take that first step towards creating discipline in that area today. And trust me, it will pay off. My dearest friend, I am so proud of you, okay? You've already taken the first steps to becoming your best self just by clicking on this video. And that is huge. The truth is that you have everything you need to create the life you've always dreamed of. It starts with recognizing the truth and recognizing your worth, setting boundaries, embracing your power, and ultimately mastering self-discipline. You're not just going to get through life, you are going to rise, evolve, and own it, okay? So I want you to take a moment right now and commit to becoming that best version of yourself. You can write yourself a mission statement. You can create a contract for yourself. Oh my God, creating a contract, huge deal, with consequences and rewards. You have got this, and I'm here cheering for you every step of the way. I might not know you personally, but if you comment on this video, I probably will. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button if you enjoyed, and leave a comment telling me what bold action you are taking today to step into your highest self. I have a podcast on Spotify, Build a Boss Podcast. Make sure to check it out. Lots of good self-development stuff there. There's also the Instagram at Build a Boss Podcast and stuff. Check it out. The bigger our community grows, the stronger and the better we become. And the more we can empower each other and create change in each other's lives, okay? Remember, you're not just a person, you are a star. And your time is now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!